This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
The second thing that Jesus said is that which is born physical. Now listen to this. This is what I'm talking about. That which is born physical is not spiritual. This is so important for you to get. That which is born physical is not spiritual. Much of the world today feels that there's some sort of spiritual value wrapped up in the physical. I really want you to understand this. I really want you to get this. The world really believes that there's something spiritual wrapped up in certain physical elements of the world. And so physical places are given spiritual values. There are places out in the West, for example, that Native Americans consider to be sacred or consider these places to be spiritual. There are places, I remember talking to a number of friends out at Unity Village who would have these spiritual experiences in these locations that were spiritual. And so they attribute certain spiritual value to physical places. People with certain physical or cognitive strengths are given spiritual value. Somebody who has an ability to have these premonitions, and that's one of the reasons why psychics are considered to be some sort of spiritual leader, because the world attributes certain spiritual value to a physical element. Unexplained or misunderstood events or phenomena. And words that words that shouldn't be said. Unexplained or misunderstood events or phenomena are sometimes given spiritual value. We can't explain it. We don't understand what happened here, so it must be spiritual. Even feelings or premonitions and visions that come from physical conditions are given spiritual value. Somebody says, I fasted for 30 days and I had this vision. And so they consider that to be some sort of spiritual value. Christians do this. I talk to Christians all the time. Say, well, I went out and fasted and God gave me a vision. Well, maybe He did. But maybe it was the fact that you were starving yourself to death and all of a sudden you saw things. You know, I used to drink really, really heavy. And I saw things too. And it weren't spiritual. But Jesus said, look, I don't want you to confuse the two. Flesh is flesh and spiritual is spiritual. Two completely different things. This is so important for us to really grasp, because we embrace this philosophy of the world that there is spiritual value in certain physical things. And Jesus said, no, there isn't. Physical is physical. Spiritual is spiritual. That which belongs to the flesh will continue in the flesh. That which is physical will continue in the cycle of physical law. Period. Physical does not become spiritual. And by the same token, that which is spiritual, that which is born of God, that which is born from above, will continue in the nature of the Spirit of God and will be controlled by spiritual law. Do you see the difference? The physical is controlled by the physical law. It can't help it. That's the way it's designed. The spiritual is controlled by the spiritual law. So if you're physical and you've never been born spiritually, you're controlled by physical law. But when you become spiritual, when there's a spiritual element to your life, when you are born from above, then there's the spiritual element of your life, and you are controlled by that spiritual element.